One.
Hello, boy. Oh, no. Rest in peace, Jay. Welcome to this week's edition of the MMA Analysis. I'm stepping in for Lance and all other former co-hosts. Who? Yeah. At this point, yeah, he's never here. I mean, we tried to switch it back to Wednesdays to make it easy for him, and just doesn't show up. Quitter, absolute quitter. Sean, how are you doing?
Good. He better show up pretty soon because I'm taking damn near all of September off. So
we're gonna have to get a ringer.
You need a ringer.
Me and Brad definitely.
I don't know if you can rely.
Yeah.
I don't think you can rely on the Lancifer. I'm doing good, man.
When's Bronx?
That's not till
November.
Yeah, I think
he'll be back for that one for sure. Maybe he missed the Bear Jew one.
He missed the Bear Jew one. I thought he missed.
Did he miss?
He missed the
Bronx. He missed Black Beast too.
Yeah, sad.
Wow.
He's just making too much money.
Yep. Jeez.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm making some money on the World Juniors, so that's always fun.
Not just you.
Yeah.
The teenager at World Juniors
is making us all money.
When he flops his stuff out and starts swinging it a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, I lost some money when it got canceled. Didn't have any time to win it back, so I knew I owed you guys some money. So I'm doing my best to do that. I don't think we're gonna get Canada, but that's okay. I think we're gonna get USA tonight, and it's gonna be another good day.
Boom. Totals have just been. Totals have been fucking fire.
Yep.
Wes, how's it going with you?
Same old, man. Yeah, just staying busy, man. Little man got me on my toes.
He'll do that.
Yep.
It's good times though. Good times. He's getting noises are starting to come out. So
you can actually interact with him a little bit.
Well, I mean, interaction is give me that or I'm gonna fucking start screaming and shit. He's at that point.
Demanding little guy.
I can't handle it too much. So
he gets the shit.
He's got a great mom. I'll tell you that. she can deal with that shit a lot better than I can. But I mean, we
a great mom and a present father.
What more can you expect out of a 42-year-old first-time father? I mean,
there you go.
he's lucky.
I mean, it's his fault. He was supposed to show up like 10 years ago.
Anytime in the past 20.
Exactly. Yeah. Motherfucker's late.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm in a good mood. We had my kind of card last week. Bunch of crazy shit happening, a bunch of dogs winning. I think we kind of got a bit of a my kind of card this week again. So we'll see. We'll break it down for you. But first, we're gonna recap last week. I guess this was fun. Yeah, this was fun. It started off and it maybe wasn't fun so much, but became fun. But we'll kick it off. Bantamweight division: Youssef Zalal and Damon Blackshear with a draw. I thought it was a deserved draw. I mean, he kicked the shit out of him in the third round, and I thought Blackshear got the better of the grappling. Anything here?
Yeah, it was close. Like 28 or 29-27 Zalal are both legit. There were some close rounds in there, and then there was that third round. Yeah, I expected a little bit more from Blackshear. I don't know if I think it was like the cardio from a bunch of these guys on this card seemed like much worse than I think what it normally would be. We had one of those classic like old Brazilian arena cards where there's no fucking AC and dudes are huffing after 2 minutes of doing nothing. That's what I'll blame it on for not hitting any of those big dogs anyway.
Fair.
High altitude fucking Kane showed up on a lot of these dudes. Yeah, that I don't know. I'd like to see Blackshear again though. Like I think he does have some he's got some skills that can win him some fights. I think.
I thought he was pretty slick in the first 10 minutes. I think I tweeted that somewhere or put it in one of our groups. But yeah, I want to see him again against a guy that maybe isn't quite as big and so I was like a really good defensive grappler. So we'll see. Catch weight of 180 pounds, even though one guy weighed in at 175 like a moron. Josh Quinlan, just Jason Witt is, say your prayers. He's 6 feet under. That was brutal. Brutal. Expected, but brutal.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead.
I just don't. What did Quinlan ever come up with a reason why he came 5 pounds under the limit? Like that makes me question: is this guy just dumb, or
somebody around him failed him? Like
Yeah.
he needs that.
Everybody around him failed him.
Yeah.
Like sure. I mean, it didn't matter this time, but
No.
what are you doing? I mean, this was obvious. It sucks for the people. I think Brad, you're included in that. I don't know if you ended up adding on it, but you had a pretty nice number on him round 1 TKO, didn't you?
Yeah, luckily 365 boosted it
Right.
back up to 333, so I took it again.
There we go. Love it.
Yeah. It was it was a good night.
This dude, like he gets away with popping hot in the first place, like, and then he's like comes in, hey, fuck it, I'll just cut an extra 5. I mean, it didn't matter in the end. I will say shout out to our boy Maz that has started to dabble into his own breakdowns of fights, and this is one where I could tell he put in like the time, as much time that we make fun of people that put in on some of these fights that are really shitty, and the outcome is always going to be the same. It doesn't matter how much you watch of this. There was one outcome in this fight, and it didn't take a single second of tape study to know what the fuck was going to happen in this fight.
Another outcome that, man, I missed the late Osborne steam on this one. Otherwise, I would have grabbed some more Tyson Nam at plus 370, but Tyson Nam knocking out a very hittable, tall, not great chinned flyweight.
Fight
Beautiful.
IQ,
Loved it.
urinal cake fight IQ just goes to the top of the list. Is O'Day Osborne, right to the top.
Osborne didn't look terrible.
So
And then
No, he was winning. Just ask
knee.
DC.
I mean,
Just
that's
ask DC. He was killing him.
that's a completely other story. DC is just an absolute fucking moron, and it's so awesome how nicely timed that KO was. I lost money on that, and it was so worth it just to see DC eat one right there. Yeah, I mean, that was absolutely dumb as shit, just throwing a naked flying knee from distance against a guy with big power. I mean,
He was like,
I don't know what you're doing.
he was like an entire foot short with it too, and
Not even
literally
close.
got caught right at the end of Nam's hook. He set it up perfectly for Nam. It was one of the best things I've ever seen.
That's movies. That's movie type shit where like choreographed fucking stuff right there just miss. Oh.
Yeah, Nam
Beautiful.
definitely got the night going. I think me and Brad hit that about. We broke it down about as good as I think you could. That it was going to be stand up knee dudes throwing and stuff, and Nam was going to throw less. He was throwing less. He was just waiting to set one up, and he got the perfect setup.
He didn't even have to set it up.
Yeah. Oh, they set it up for him. He just had to throw it. Insane line though. Even in hindsight, that line was crazy, man. That was a close fight, regardless of who was going to win it. I think the line was just fucking stupid, and I did throw a little more on Nam. It just got crazy by fight time. It was plus 350. I think I got plus 360 on top of.
It was nuts by
nuts.
it. Sean, don't feel too bad because in the next fight I bet on Charlie Ontiveros. I kept it small and kept
Yeah.
it as a round 1 TKO, which was clearly the only way he could have won, but still threw away some money for nothing. Because Gabriel Benitez took him down and beat the shit out of him, as people do to Charlie Ontiveros.
I feel like once I'm assuming Ontiveros is going to be cut. I feel like he's going to win some fights on the regional scene because his offense is still really good. And like he throws wild shit. And a lot of times it still lands and it looks like it hurts. But that defense and that chin is just not UFC level.
Yeah, he's got the most landed axe kicks in UFC history for sure.
Yeah.
He was landing some shit on Benitez, and a couple times it looked like Benitez got fucking rocked. But man, that was just disrespectful shit that Benitez did on that. Like he didn't like pick him up and like dump him. He picked him up and tossed his ass to the mat, and then just dropped hammers on him. That was totally disrespectful. I think Sean's right though. Like in a lower org, like he's gonna drop some bombs.
He's gonna get some highlight reel fucking knockouts.
Yep. I mean, we've seen him in LFA for a long time. He's also not as panicked when he's on the regional scene. When he knows there's not as much coming back at him, he actually takes his time a little bit and kind of sets things up. But I mean, he's his body and chin are so broken at this point that he can't do that in the UFC. Women's flyweight, Nina Nunes retires. Oh, sad story. Cynthia beats Cynthia Cavallo by split decision. It was a fight that happened. I didn't play the split prop. What the fuck?
Dumb that was a split.
Yeah, I had to send a message right to Brad. Dude, that was announced.
Like those are auto plays. Like I remember when like all of a sudden like 10-8s became more prevalent. And everybody's like, oh, you just got to bet the draw on all these fights because you never know. I mean, that's basically all women's fights. They're somewhat close. Just bet split.
Yeah. It's usually like plus 400, like plus 450.
Yeah. Perfect ending for me for Nina Nunez's career is cashing at about a plus 160 dog for the boys.
Oh, yeah,
and
won money on her.
Yeah, that was like Castillo's terrible.
I mean, it's another spot. Like there was a bunch of spots on this card. How the fuck weren't you taking some of these dog prices on some of these fights, man? Like she's horrible. She's fucking horrible. Like
what I think this week.
she had a path the entire time. Played out perfectly. I'm glad I cashed that dog money, and she's gonna go away, and I never have to fucking watch her again. Win-win.
T-shirt in the pool division, Martin Budai. Not only is he a solid addition to the division, but he even gets bad split decision. I love this guy. He's my kind of dude. Sean?
The best part about this fight is just Brzezinski's before and after photos that just look as fraudulent as Chiclets is. Like that was wild. Wild to see.
He looked way better than I expected, though.
Yeah.
To his credit.
Yeah. I ended up having getting a 1.5 early, pretty juiced in a parlay piece.
That was the play.
It was an insane parlay piece. It ended up getting. I think most places moved it to 2.5 by Saturday. But yeah, man, that's bad stuff. That fight was going 15 all day. We got the more contenders T-shirt in the pool, and what got announced? Hold on, we got like maybe a title fight coming up, right? Don't we have a T-shirt in the pool title fight coming up that was announced?
That was let me scroll to the right chat.
Is that the Porky one? Did the Porky one get announced?
Yeah. Porky and Handy. It's a Handy Porky showdown.
Oh, Jesus.
Pulled pork sandwich delight.
Love it.
Man.
That's gonna be something to see. That one. That's just a very thick fight. Thick thighs everywhere. We don't need anything else on this one. Next up, Angela Hill, another catchweight fight, 120. Takes a unanimous decision
Bang, bang.
over the Canadian showed up.
Yep.
Canadian showed up on this one, and that's what happens to Canadians. Lupi Gonzalez. Oh, Godinez, not Gonzalez. Whatever. Same thing.
How does she not go for takedowns at all? Regardless, this was a terrible number. I think West cashed big on this. Very smart. I, for some reason, picked Godinez in Toutmaster, and I'm a fucking moron. But watching her just do nothing and not shoot takedowns when she is a grappler with decent wrestling for this division against Angela Hill, who she is getting better takedown defense, but I feel like if you do get Angela Hill down, for the most part, you can keep her down. And she just was like, fuck it. I'm just going to strike with Angela Hill.
Well, rocking her in the first 30 seconds or whatever was probably the worst thing that happened to her.
It's the worst.
And then she's like, oh, I can just beat her up on the feet.
Smart.
I mean, that's how she's lost a couple times in the UFC since she's gotten here, is not consistently getting takedowns. It's Angela fucking Hill, man. Like, I was just hoping that she could keep it standing for chunks of a couple rounds and still a couple rounds. This shit was a blowout, man. Like, I think it was plus 600 on Hill decision. That was nuts. That was nuts. We talked about it on the show, like whether you like Lupe or not. That number was crazy, man. Hill by decision, and then like
that's basically her money line because Hill's not finishing a fight. So yeah, that's
and
dumb.
I split it. I split it on each one, and that was just crazy, man. It was another line that in a close fight that was just that was kind of fucking crazy, man.
I think I took split because it was like 12 or whatever.
You had to.
I was hoping. I saw some people scoring it on Twitter, 29-28 for Godinez. So I was hoping. The fingers were crossed, the butt was clenched. But I only took decision in a stupid round robin that didn't hit. So dumb on me. Next up, we were in the middleweight division.
Whew.
Never in doubt, baby.
Got that one though.
Munich. Never in, and you know,
never in doubt where he's got him dead on the mat, punching him in the face.
As
The
I
ref
said.
just won't stop it.
So he chokes him. It's beautiful. Why play the inside the distance with the meerkat? Lovely. Bruno Silva looked like absolute shit in this fight.
See, something looked wrong with him, man. Something looked completely wrong. That wasn't the same guy.
Like, just compare that dude to the Pereira fight. Like, those are just completely different fighters. And like, I don't know if it's an excuse. It was hot in the arena. His cardio was just gone. I don't know.
Wasn't that hot?
I know. Like,
Meerkat was piecing him up though. Like Meerkat was landing bombs on him.
this dude went 3 rounds with Pereira and is getting lit up by Meerkat.
Oh, it's the Meerkat season. Meerkat Manor is back, baby. He's going on a run.
Money on that.
Getting that I lost a good chunk on it too. But getting that sub, man, take like our boy Bagels would say, take like 3 marbles out of the jar, because he had Silva rocked multiple times with his hands in that fight, and then at the end he literally like
Silva was ready to quit.
That one evens out with the Craig submission against Jamal.
There you go.
There you go.
For you.
Yeah, because I made the right play here.
Oh,
fair.
Good play though. It was a good call, man. Like, that was a great play, great Munich. Silva looked.
Wasn't he was kickboxing with him for 15 minutes?
I mean,
didn't even come close to taking him.
He didn't have to though. Hell, after 2 minutes, he could see like, I'm Alex Pereira in this fight. Like, Silva looked horrible. I don't know who that was, man. Like, whether
it was bad.
Meerkat deserved the win, and props to him and shit, but that wasn't the same guy that showed up. I mean, he even looked. Did he like
get old? Did he get old overnight? Who knows?
He looked like it.
He looked like old and softer, and just like he didn't look right. I agree.
Which is weird, considering that like we figure that the testing is not up to par like it's been in the past. Like, you can tell some
nobody
dudes
told his camp.
Yeah,
nobody told this guy.
He got bad intel.
All right. Women's bantamweight division. We can talk about this one because it only took 65 seconds
Catch
for
that
Ariane
beating.
Lipski to catch a beating.
There it is.
Caught it so hard. Beautiful. I love making money on women's underdogs. It's time tested and true. Sean?
Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, that was Catch a Beating's way to win, and she did it. She is a flawed fighter, but there are certain matchups where she is the side that you take when she's an underdog. Good stuff. Love it.
Wes?
Yeah, just another dog spot on a fight that should have been on the dog here. I think we all bet it the week before. Some got canceled, some didn't, but took it again. Yeah, that was a good spot for old Catch a Beating. She throws. She's aggressive. She's got a little pop. Like if you get some plus money against somebody like Lipsky on it, yeah, you take that.
I'll say this for Catch a Beating. I will watch her fights.
Yep.
So that's good. Light heavyweight division, big whiff by us all around the table on this one. One of very few on the night to hit us all. The laundromat Mirzakhanov, he just did a lot of bad things to Devin Clark.
Devin Clark is bad. And
We knew he was bad last week when we made the bet.
We did. I just thought that he would try harder. I don't know. He seemed like he was fucking mailing it in pretty good in this one.
He was quitting, dude. Not even his dad could hype him up. He was like, "Fuck this, pops."
That was hilarious before the start of round 3, though. His dad doing the full Dan Tom. His dad sounded like Dan Tom impersonating his dad.
Yeah.
Classic.
That was good. I very much enjoyed that. And shout out to our boy Dan. Anything we want to add here? Just let's move on. That one's still a little sore.
I think this dude's still a fade though. I don't think he's good whatsoever.
It's just light heavyweight so shitty that
Yep.
It's got to be certain guys.
I'm on the Tapology page of the event, and his picture, the little thumbnail, kind of looks like our boy Paul Shag. He's got a little Paul Shag in him. Next fight, women's strawweight division. I actually still haven't seen this one. I heard it was a banger, and I want you guys to confirm or deny that before I go and watch it.
It was. Two absolute unknowns that you give no shits about, and they actually were okay. The one chick could throw pretty hard. The other chick was much more skilled and was landing on the other chick, and yeah, it was a good fight. I mean, it's like I said, completely no names. This fight could happen on an Invicta card. It could happen on any like an LFA card, and nobody knows. But they decided to put it on the main card, so at least it wasn't horrible.
Yeah, it was fun, and then of course Dana's like up ass sniffing old girl right after the fight. She's coming out of the cage, and Dana's literally on all fours with his nose up her fucking asshole. Like don't look okay, and then like have a good fight as a chick, or you're
getting
probably
harassed.
you're gonna be sexually assaulted by fucking Dana White. He's disgusting.
There's just something that he can't put his finger on, Wes. All right.
There's something he wants to put his finger on.
Yes, he definitely wants to.
And that thing is not the ring girls or the female fighters or probably the employees at head office. I mean, it's something else, but something that he can't put his finger on. We haven't found it yet.
Yeah.
Co-main event. This was absolute performance art.
Yes.
This was incredible.
It's what MMA is all
about. Majority decision for Nate Landwehr over David Onama. Just incredible. Sean?
It's wild because Onama knocked this dude out and then woke his ass up and then he got his ass whooped. You got to be pissed. Like, Lance had fight doesn't go, and I would be fucking pissed if I had that, because there was about 8 chances for Landwehr to land, 3-4 ground strikes, and this shit is over. And he did not want to do that. He is his own person. You gotta love it. Shit-eating wild man. He's on the list. Just ridiculous fight. Of course, Kraus wasn't gonna throw in the towel. His buddy had $3 million on Onama, so I know Kraus.
Still waiting
was
to see
trying
those tickets, aren't we?
I mean, I'm waiting. I don't know if we will. Kraus was like, he was putting on a good show. He was like, "Oh well, you want to get out there, right?" Onama didn't answer his ass, but he
Hell
didn't
no,
say
he didn't.
no.
Like 6 times.
So that was good enough. Get his ass out there, fight for that $6 million. And he still kind of flurried on him in a couple of chances. Landwehr is fucking, insane.
Wes?
Yeah, I mean, Onama is like, he's got all the skills, man. He fucking blew his load like it was gone. That dude had nothing left. He literally had fucking Landwehr out. It was wild. What a fight. Landwehr's a maniac. Like that dude's an absolute maniac. He can fight any day. I'm turning it on. Like that. Like Brad put it perfectly though. That was MMA performance art. That shit was perfect. Put that shit in the instructional videos. I lost on Onama here. I thought I was cashing that inside the distance early. Like he's so much better. Like, so you could see it early, like just so much better. Landwehr's like present day fighter, man. You got to be tough and you got to have some cardio. Like you got to have cardio. Cardio will kill dudes in this sport. You can
He's
get
a
knocked
shitty
out.
Darren Elkins.
Yeah, I mean, Darren Elkins probably the better wrestler, but Landwehr can land. Like his hands are decent. Like the dude's not. He's better than what I thought a year or two ago. I definitely think he could. Like I said, man, you got cardio on the chin and recovery and shit like that. You're gonna take a lot of dudes out.
Also, how can you say he's the shitty Darren Elkins when he beat Darren Elkins?
Darren Elkins done been like through 3 car wrecks of fights by that point.
All right, hot take for this fight. Draw was the right scorecard. If we're going by the criteria, guys, Landwehr, he was like on him in the third, and he could have finished him. He could have done a lot of damage, but he didn't. And then he got rocked 17 times in the round. So damage goes to Onama. Draw was the correct scorecard. There you have it.
Who had it? Michael Bell had it draw.
It's a smart man right there.
I mean,
Not
honestly,
easy.
I might even do it like 28-27 though. Because that second round was pretty bad for Onama.
That's fair. I could get behind that. Yeah. 10-7 round in the second.
Yeah.
Just crazy. Somebody on MMA Decision scored at 29-26. So like they gave a 10-7. They just didn't do the Onama round in the third. So somebody's on the same page as you.
Yep.
Main event. Marlon Chito Vera rearranges Dominick Cruz's nose. He looks like he's Andrei Arlovski's little brother now. And yeah, that fight, I think everybody was kind of right about that fight, that Dom was going to have success early, and then it was a matter of if Marlon could catch him with big shit, and he could catch him with big shit, and he did it multiple times, and one of them shut the lights off. Sean?
Yeah, pretty much how we expected it to go. I don't know if there's much more to say about it. I mean, Marlon Vera's come a long way. I know he's kind of done this a couple times to Rob Font and some other guys. He's got big power, and he doesn't force anything. he takes like this dude has to fight in 5-round fights because he takes his sweet ass time. But when he lands, it's big, man. So he's gonna be in some really fun fights. Poor Dom. I think that's like I hope he's not one of those guys that tries to hold on too long. His injuries just kind of fucked up his career. He should have had way more fights already, and maybe he'd have been already out of the sport at this point if he didn't have all those injuries. I just hope he doesn't kind of try to hang on, because that weight class, there's some monsters in the top 10. So
not the one you want to hang on in.
No. So I'll hopefully he's got a good job with the UFC. Just let it be.
Dom still thinks that he's that dude.
He's the most confident man in any room. Whatever room he's in, he is the most confident person in that room.
And you know what? Good on him. Like, that's what it takes to be a
That's
world
why
champion.
he got to the places he got to.
He said he was prepared to die in there.
And
he almost did.
Yeah.
I mean, what's wild though is like it was all there. Like, his skills are still there. They are, man. He's looked decent, but the two things that are fading, you can't have fade at 135. Like, he does slow down. The longer the fade slows down now,
and that reaction time, and
his fucking his chin's going. Like, don't forget, Marlon dropped him like a minute into the fight. I mean, then like Sean said, he does what Vera does and didn't do nothing else for fucking 10 minutes. He just doesn't throw enough. Dom's style is still, he's gonna leave you that opening for a big punch. Used to be able to eat him. Like, he just can't. Vera does have huge power, but man, there's a lot of dudes at 135 now that can fucking crack a chin. Dom's gonna fight again though. Like, this ain't the last one for him. And then with Vera, man, I don't think Vera's ever gonna be like that dude though at 135. I feel like he's like a Masvidal, where he can catch lightning in a bottle against some very good fighters, but then he's gonna lose to a bunch of good fighters as well, just because of the style that he has with guys that he can't catch, and of course he's always gonna lose the volume game. I give him higher marks at this point than even Jorge or somebody like that though. Like, I think he could absolutely
better fighters on the way.
Yeah,
and
harder
matchups.
Yeah, harder, and he's got a better chance of catching that lightning. Like, it's Jorge's, got to hit the flying needle, where Vera's got the power, man. He's got it, and it seems to be in his legs and his hands now too. Like, that knockout on Dom was fucking great shit. I mean, so I think Vera can always maybe get a top 5 guy out of there, but most of those dudes are going to beat him on volume. They're not going to get caught by a head kick and get their nose fucking broken. So Vera is what he is. He's a very good fighter. I think Sean's right. He's the improvement he's made over the past 4 or 5 years is incredible. He's putting himself in that spot. It seems like he's made some decent money in this sport too over the past few years. So props to him.
Performance bonuses.
Yeah, I mean, he's put on some shows. I mean, his past couple fights, I mean, hell, the Rob Font fight was fucking insane. That was great stuff. Knocking out Dom Cruz. I mean, those are things to hang your career on. Like, he's going to end up with a very good career in the end. I don't think he's ever going to sniff maybe even a title shot. I don't think he ever really sees a title shot. Maybe, who knows? But yeah, props to Vera. It was a great win.
In a different division, or a division that didn't have bantamweight's current title picture,
yeah,
I think you'd definitely get a title shot, but I think this is his ceiling right here. I like the guys ahead of him are Sandhagen, Dillashaw, Jan, and Aljo, and Aldo, who already beat him. So I don't think he beats any of those guys, but he'll be in a fight with all of them.
Yep.
And that's what what you're getting with Cheeto. He's always going to be in a fight. That does it for UFC Vegas. Oh, that was San Diego. UFC San Diego. Let's you stay classy, all right? Now we're on to UFC 78. Headlines by Kamaru Usman versus to be determined. We'll figure that out when we get there. Nobody knows as of yet, but it's kind of one of those old wrestling things. You know, the surprise opponent. We'll see who it is. Kicking it off in the flyweight division, we have Daniel Da Silva, Lacerda, whatever other names you want to add on, taking on Victor Altamirano. Sean, what do you got here?
So they opened Da Silva around like plus 170 in that range, and he's got bet down a bit. I think that's probably the right side. I think this is a fairly close fight. I know looking at that loss to the shitty Figs is not great, but knee bars are weird. We don't really know what would happen in that fight. If he doesn't catch that, I would assume Figgy would lose. And I don't know. I don't think Altamirano is that good. So I'm gonna pick Da Silva in Toutmaster. I think he can do well. It's probably gonna be a bunch of grappling. It's probably gonna be a close fight. I think you got to pick the dog in that case.
Wes?
Yeah, I don't have much on this fight. Kind of agree with Sean. I don't think Altamirano's very good at this point. I know the Silva's got some decent performances. If I bet anything here, I was kind of looking at the over at some plus money. I think Sean's right. I think we could see some kind of grappling, close rounds here. I don't know, man. I don't really have a good read on this fight. I'd probably pick the dog and Toutmaster. Might look at the over, but this fight's probably going to be a pass for me. I just don't have a read on it.
I kind of lean Altamirano here, not super confident. He's got terrible wrestling. He will be on his back at some point in this fight and could get subbed early. I just think that if that doesn't happen, and I think his sub defense is good enough that it doesn't. I mean, he's only been stopped by Jared Brooks, who he's a goof, but he's really fucking good at fighting. I think he's going to take over and pour volume on a gassed Lacerda. Altamirano, round 2, round 3. There's no props out for that one. Well, actually, Dimes has Altamirano round 3 is only plus 950, which is not enough for me to take it here. But I think he gets it done. Next up, we are in the bantamweight division. We got Jay Perrin taking on Qileng. Sean? Who's Jay Perrin?
Yeah, I don't really have much in this matchup. I don't think much of either of these guys. Seems like there's probably going to be some grappling. I don't really know who the better grappler is. This is fairly low level shit. I guess I'll pick the Mongolian murderer.
Ooh, he's a murderer.
Allegedly.
Wes?
Yeah, I think
he's got 2/3 of his fights that have gone to decision, but I guess he's a murderer.
Yeah.
I'm
murdered Cameron or else.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna call him the Mongolian. I'm not even gonna try to get into that name there. Yeah, I kind of like him in this fight. Probably not enough to bet him, but you know, as a dog here against Perrin, I think he hits a little harder on the feet. I think Perrin probably wants to get this to the mat and grapple, but if the old Mongolian can keep this on the feet, I think he hits hard. He throws quite a bit of volume. So, at plus money, I think it's probably a dog or pass spot here, in my opinion. I'm probably going to pass. It's just these are some low level dudes, man. So be a dog pick in Toutmaster, but probably no bet.
Yeah, Perrin's definitely going to come out and try and grapple because he's outgunned here on the feet, and just comes down to if he can. Well, I think he probably will get takedowns early. It comes down to if he can do anything with them, because I think that Qileng is going to pile up the volume on him, and probably a decision. Perrin seems like he can take a pretty good beating, so that'll be the pick there. Next up, we are in the flyweight division again, all lower weights early on. Amir Albazi, I think once upon a time he may have been my pick for a breakout flyweight, perhaps this year, I don't know. But he's taken on the shitty figs, and I think he's going to chew up the shitty figs and shit them out. What do you think, Sean?
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, looking at that number, it's pretty wild. Like -5, -450, -500. That's a bit scary, especially at kind of these smaller weight classes where, there isn't as many finishes. Albazi does have a shit ton of them himself. Whether he can do that at the UFC level against a lot more competition, I guess we'll see. I think he's the better striker. If this gets into grappling, it probably becomes a little bit of a closer fight. So I think Albazi would be smart to just keep it on his feet and chew up figs. I got to pick the giant favorite. Shitty Figs is Shitty Figs for a reason. He pulled one out of his ass last time out, but I don't think he's going to be able to do that here.
Wesley.
Yeah, I like Albazi here. It's just still Shitty Figs, man. I think Albazi's still pretty damn good. I think if this does kind of get to the mat in some way, I think it's just some funny shit happening. Albazi probably ends up on top of Figs, where I think he can work a little bit, land some shit on top, but he's going to keep this on the feet more than likely, and I think he gets Figs out of there, man. I mean, him inside is like plus 165. It's a big difference to his money line at this point, which is pretty wide. I do think he wins. So the number's probably justified at this point, but getting him inside at plus 165, a dude that finishes fights and his money line's almost minus 500, I think that's something I'm probably going to have to sprinkle on in this spot.
I agree about the inside there. I think that's a good number. But if you know where to go, you can see that Albazi by submission is plus 485. And I think that has some legs. One of these guys went life and death grappling with Malcolm Gordon, and one of these guys tapped Malcolm Gordon in seconds.
And he wants
dominantly.
And he wants to get it to that spot too. The dude that went life and death with Malcolm Gordon.
Exactly.
He got lost.
Yeah.
No matter where this is going down, is that number right? Albazi TKO is plus 700 at Bet Online, and Albazi sub is plus 485 at Dimes. Is that correct? Are my eyes deceiving me?
Yeah, I mean, forget like inside the distance. That's what you need to be doing right there.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. So go do that, because I think I'm not great at math, but I think that's a little better than plus 165.
Yeah.
Next up, we are in the welterweight division. We got a Loosa against AJ Fletcher. Sean, is he a loser?
I think he's going to lose it. I hope he's going to lose it. I was pretty impressed with what I saw from Fletcher on short notice against Semmelsberger. I think if he has a full camp, he probably has the cardio to finish that fight on top and win a decision. I hope it's not one of those scenarios where you see a guy and he looks good in a losing spot and then falls flat his next time out. It's possible here. Loses look like he has some decent power, so Fletcher's going to need to get this to the ground and rough this dude up there. I think he has the skills to do it. I put Fletcher in a 1 unit parlay.
Wesley.
Yeah, I don't have much to add to that. I agree with all that. I kind of like Fletcher in this spot. If he can get this to the mat, which I think he can, and can work on the old loser here, he's going to gas this dude out. So, I mean, at the price right now, I mean, some Fletcher at around minus 155 out there. Maybe this comes down a little bit more and you don't even have to parlay him. So I'm going to hold out a little bit longer, but I like Fletcher in this spot.
Yeah, I think Fletcher looked pretty good against Semmelsberger. I'm not sure what that exactly means because we know that Semmelsberger isn't great. But we know that Fletcher is at least going to try really hard and do things, even if he gets tired. And Loosa is, so far from what I've seen, has not done a lot, even when he is fresh and his opponent is tired. So I just kind of think that Fletcher's going to do more in this fight. Am I super confident in it? No, I don't think I'm playing anything here. Actually, what's the over looking like in this one? Yeah, no, I don't even think I'm going to play anything in this one, but I'll pick Fletcher. Not a big enough dog to take in Toutmaster, even though I'm trying to make up some ground. On to the ESPN prelim card. I heard this might be on ABC or something like that. They're changing things around, but either way, ESPN, I guess that's good. Women's flyweight division. Miranda Maverick, Shanna Young. Is it Shanna? Is it Shayna?
Shayna.
Is it? She's cut.
Weird matchup. I don't really like Shayna Young lost to some not good fighters, and she won against Mazzani, and now she's fighting Miranda Maverick. Who, yes, Miranda Maverick lost 2 in a row and then beat up on Mazzo. This is a setup fight. I think Maverick is gonna smash her here. I don't think this is one of those cases where you pick the dog. Shayna Young just isn't good. I think Maverick's smart, take her down, smash her on the ground, and get her out of there. It's a big number. It is women's MMA. That is always sketchy, but not going to bet it. No chance. It's kind of pointless at the price of that, but I'll pick her and help master and pray the fucking dog doesn't hit, or I'm going to piss away some more of my lead.
You're still in first, though, right?
Yes.
Just barely. Wes is crawling up your ass.
He's after last weekend, he fucking cut it in pretty
two
good.
Two out of the past 3 events, I've had some big ones.
Yeah.
The tip is in. Maybe not in, but like it's
getting close.
It's pushing. Wes, what do we got here?
Yeah, this isn't the dog spot. Like, Maverick's gonna smash this chick. Like, Young is terrible, like so terrible. Maverick's getting takedowns, getting on top and smashing. I think she gets it done inside the distance, which is plus money. If you want to bet this, probably the way. Can't lay any kind of the parlay shit on this or anything like that. Just it's a pass. Maverick's the big pass on this fight.
Yeah, Maverick. I don't get it. Inside the distance. Maybe the TKO line. The TKO line is like plus 550.
Ooh.
Maybe she just like gets on top
Ground
of her and beats the shit out of her instead of subbing her.
Yeah, she's got a shit ton of subs, but this might be the spot where it might be worth it. Like, if you're gonna just toss a couple bucks on it, I would go for the long shot TKO.
I think that's the plan here. We got a hashtag bet every fight, so we're going with we'll go with Maverick TKO here.
The BGE is gonna be smoking, and we gotta get a bet on every fight.
That's right. I need to have something official to go against. We need to find out what Tazzy Mazzy 3 is going to be. It's going to be a legendary showdown. We'll find out, and none of the people who are listening right now have any idea what we're talking about. Featherweight division, Luis Saldaña taking on my arch nemesis, the ugly cave-dwelling Sean Woodson. I don't understand how this person exists. Sean, explain it to me.
He's a weird looking dude. And I know you don't like him. And there's been a couple spots. I mean, obviously the Erosa one's the big one there. I
Legendary.
I don't know if this is the one. Saldaña's okay. I just don't know if he has the power. Woodson seems hittable. I just don't know if Saldaña has the power to put him down. Is his grappling going to be good enough to kind of gas out Woodson? I don't know. I'll steer clear of this one. Woodson a big favorite, like he almost always is. Is he gonna, win a very close decision? It's possible, but I'm not taking the shot.
Wesley.
Sad.
Are you doing it?
Those are all just great points you brought up. They're all, very well fucking articulated, but this dude looks like fucking like half man, half spider crawled up out of a fucking cave. I don't like him either. I don't like him. He's weird.
See, it's not just me.
He's a fucking weird guy, man. Yeah, I'm taking a little shot on Saldaña here. I think he can be competitive on the feet. I think he's a little better on the mat. I think he's got decent top game when he does get on top. He throws some shit, so I think it's going to be a close fight. Plus 285 against fucking cave dweller. Like, yeah, I'll take a little bit. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If Woodson gets, catches another body shot or some shit like that, then so be it. I think Saldaña's a pretty tough, generally skilled dude. So at that kind of number, I'll take a little shot here. Plus 285.
I wish I could do it, Wes. I was trying to. I was trying to find a way there.
I'll do it for both of us.
I appreciate that. I do appreciate that, and I will be very happy for you if you win. I just think Saldaña is going to have a bit of success early, but it's not going to be enough, and then he's going to gas because he does tend to gas, and Woodson's going to pour it on him with his ugly man spider like striking, just fucking limbs coming out of his ass everywhere, and get a third round stoppage. So I'll have a little Woodson round 3 at plus 1,000 or whatever that's going to be.
He probably wins. I think he does probably win. He's a better guy here for sure.
Maybe still Saldaña and Toastmaster though. Just because I need it. I need it.
Under 2.5?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Nigel. Shoutouts to Nigel. Under
like
2.5, plus 110. That seems like it's hitting. Because I know you said that Saldaña doesn't have a ton of power, but I think if any of those big kicks connect, that could be enough. Or... call me crazy. Woodson's an incredibly tall, skinny guy who's not like ripped. Just fucking kick him in the body and you'll break his spine and he'll keel over and die. Yeah? Maybe? No?
Maybe.
But yeah. Also, plus 120 at Caesars. So,
That
could be not bad.
I don't know if the dude has a spine. He might be like amoeba type at this point. Fucking weird.
He's actually just like a marionette. He's on strings from somewhere. Nobody knows where. That's kind of how he moves. Lightweight division. Jared Gordon. Did you guys know that he was a former drug addict? I'm not sure if anyone's going to tell you that this weekend. But hey.
It's another one too. I can't remember his name. I think they're a couple former drug
Him and
addicts.
Court, the Heron
they're a
buddies,
couple?
or what?
Oh, that's his name. That's not. I couldn't remember the other guy's name.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard the story a thousand times.
Like
Sanko is like getting wet right now for some reason. She has no
She doesn't
idea
know.
why.
Her ears just perked up and just flooded.
Anyways, he is taking on the ageless Leonardo Santos. Leonardo Santos is like so old but ageless that we don't even have an old nickname for him. He doesn't even look that old. Like, what's going on?
Because he never fights, so we don't really until recently he never fucking fights, so we don't really give a shit about him because he would fight once every 2 years. He's
Wait,
not.
should we actually break this down? Because if he fights, this is going to be, come on, this is the first time that he's fought within 8 months
I
of
know it's a
another
bit
fight
scary.
ever.
Yeah.
Oh no, since 2014. 2014.
Yeah, you only have to go back 8 years.
He fought 6 months apart. Interesting.
This seems like an overreaction. I get it. Like Leonardo Santos is 42 years old. He did gas himself out after absolutely torching Clay Guida.
Booze and
Like
cigs, man. Keith smelled like booze and cigs on that one for sure.
Yeah, he did.
Like I have no problem with Gooden or Jaron Gordon being a favorite. You want to make him a minus 150, minus 170 favorite. Okay, I can kind of see that. I got Santos at plus 295. Cool bet.
That's
Just with
That's
the
dumb.
lovely big dog odds.
is that still hanging around?
I don't know. I'd have to go check again.
Oh.
There's another one coming up that cool bet tossed me a bone on. It's like, yes, he is old. Gordon does have a good pace, but Santos can take dudes down. Gordon has shown to be, his takedown defense is kind of iffy. Santos has got some power on the feet. This number just seems very wide, and you know, you look at that loss against Clay Guida in 2021. It's not a good look. But he had him dead to rights, and there is a lot of refs that stop that fight. And then what is this line if that doesn't happen? Yeah, I did damn sure ain't anywhere close to plus 295 or plus 250 or plus 200. Like, I got 2 units on Santos at plus 295. If he has completely fallen off the cliff at 42 years old, it is what it is. He's still a skilled dude with some potent offense, especially early on. I think he can put it on Gordon. And obviously, if Gordon kind of makes it through and can put on a pace, then it gets obviously sketchy after that. But I like Santos early on.
Wesley.
Yeah, I think Sean hit on most of it pretty good. It's just the line's pretty wide here against Jared Gordon, man. Like, come on, what are we doing? And, you know, Sean's right. He had Guida fucking dead. I mean, there's refs that stopped that fight, and he fucking blew his shit out. Guida's a tough motherfucker. He survived a lot of shit and won fights like that. Jared Gordon isn't Clay fucking Guida, even at this stage of Clay Guida. The pace that Clay can put on dudes and shit, Jared Gordon is not putting on that pace. I think Santos is smart enough too that he's not. I don't think he's gonna do that again and go fucking just absolutely ape shit if he gets Gordon in a bad spot. But man, that line still sitting at plus 250. Santos inside the distance plus 500. I think his subs out there at plus 900. Those are all things that I'm playing. I also like the under 2.5 is at plus 130. If Santos does fucking pull out some shit like he did last time, Jared Gordon will get a finish. He'll put it on him enough to probably get him out of there if Santos gasses like that again. So I like that under 2.5 at plus 130 as well. I'll be on all of those in some way, but I like Santos here. I think Santos does get a hold of Jared Gordon. I think he might get a sub here, man. That sub line's just kind of crazy. Like for Santos, plus 900. I'll take some of that. I like Santos.
Yeah, I don't think my opinion has changed on this fight, but I think I'm getting more convinced about Santos in this spot. Jared Gordon, you kind of think of him as like this grindy wrestler guy, but he's not a very good wrestler. I originally was thinking that he'd have a hard time taking Santos down, especially early. I don't think there's any chance that he takes Santos down in the first round and is able to hold him down. But I think there's more and more possibility that Santos could take him down if he wants to. And Santos has an advantage on the feet here in terms of technique and power. I'm not even convinced that Santos, unless something wild like the Clay fight happens and he gasses that badly, I don't think Gordon can finish him. Jared Gordon's not a finisher, and it's not like Santos is getting put away by bad guys or in bad situations. I mean, it looks like he's been stopped in 2 fights in a row, but that Dawson one was like right at the final bell. That was ridiculous, and we know what happened in the Guida fight. So I think I'll probably take some Santos, no cards. I just logged into CoolBet, and they've still got plus 250 on Santos, so I'm going to take some of that. I will also have Santos round 1 at plus 1100 at 365, because that's an insane number. And I don't think that's his only possibility to win, but I think that's a lot of his possibility to win in the spot. So, Leo Santos. Do you think we can make it? I think that's a Munich. I think Leo Santos is going to be.
There's no chance. There's no chance that Lance is on Leonardo Santos at 42 years old.
No. 42-year-old Brazilian?
Sure?
No way.
The
No.
gas
He hates,
the last time out.
He hates drug addicts, though. He really
That's
hates
true.
drug addicts.
That's true.
That's the angle.
I think I might be
It's
able
very
to
true.
talk him into it.
That's the angle you got to sell.
Leo Santos, Munich.
Oh. Oh.
All right. Next up, heavyweight division. Not quite t-shirt in the pool division, so I'm not sure if we really care, but I may have a bet on this fight. We got Marcin Tybura, who's going to get massacred by Alexander Romanov, right? Because Romanov is like minus 400, so he's just going to kill him. Right, Sean?
I don't think so. This is a wild number. Like, Romanov obviously has hype behind him, but since that Espino fight where shit was getting dicey and he looked for a way out and took it and got fucking lucky, he has destroyed, fair enough, he destroyed Jared Vandera and Chase Sherman. As you should if you are a half decent heavyweight. Tybura's been around for a long fucking time, and yeah, Volkov got him out there. Volkov's kind of a weird matchup for a lot of guys. He's got some skills. He sometimes uses that length pretty well. Tybura's fought way better guys than Romanov. If Romanov does blow him out, I guess I'm wrong. I have a hard time believing that Tybura is just going to get fucking taken down and absolutely dummied on the ground. He hasn't really been taken down recently. I know he's not been really fighting grapplers, if you can call them that, at heavyweight. But I mean, Tybura took down Spivak. That was just over 2 years ago. Spivak's pretty good. He wasn't as good back then, but he's pretty good, and he won that fight. I think this is going to be close. If this is on the feet, I think Tybura has some decent edges. CoolBet threw a fucking absolute beautiful number out there, plus 340 for Tybura. I took it 1 unit. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but that's a wide number for a guy that has some serious flaws. If Tybura is able to hang in there for a couple rounds, it's going to get dicey.
Wes.
Yeah, I mean, I get all of that. Great number too. I think Romanov wins this fight. I do think that number's kind of crazy though. Tybura's been around. He's a really tough out for that kind of price. But Walt Harris, Greg Hardy, Ben Rothwell, Grisham, Spivak 2 years ago, then lost a fucking T-shirt in the pool division. Sakai, fucking Shamil before that. But
T-shirt in the pool legend.
But
Sakai, all right.
Put some respect on that name.
Those dudes were standing with a very crafty dude on the feet. All of them. Like, all of those wins, none of those dudes were going for takedowns. None of them. They were sitting on the feet and boxing with a dude that's got decent hands and will take you to the cage and work you over. Like, work you over and steal rounds. That ain't happening here. Like, he's going to have to fight off fucking a polar bear going for takedowns on him. And, I mean, Tybura's takedown defense has been okay, I guess, against guys that, don't try to take him down. Like, so I don't know. I don't really know how, at this stage in his career, how good his takedown defense is against a dude that's got some pretty good takedowns. Yeah, I'm not running out to bet Romanov, though. Like, I do think it's a pretty tough fight for him. If he can't get those takedowns, it's going to be dicey on the feet. I think he can. I think he can get those takedowns on Tybura. And if he does consistently, 1 or 2 in the first, 1 or 2 in the second, I think he's probably going to land that ground and pound and get a stoppage here. It's probably not something I want to bet. I haven't put anything on Romanov in this fight. If I do, it's probably going to be inside the distance. I was looking at the over. There's some 1.5s at some spots that I think is a pretty good parlay piece, especially if you like Tybura. I think you got to think this is going to go a little bit. So it's a little juicy, but I think it's a really good parlay piece, kind of like last week, the heavyweight over that ended up getting a little juiced at 1.5. I think this is kind of the same spot. Even if Romanov wins, I could see Tybura hanging on in the first round, then this getting a little sloppy in the second, later stage, second round takedown, and a finish there by Romanov. So like the over more than anything. Romanov's going to be the pick for me. I get it. I get where Sean's coming with that big number, and it's a tough fight for him if it stays on the feet.
I'm a bit more with Sean in this one. I could see Romanov having some success early with the wrestling, but Tybura isn't easy to take down. And it's not just, he hasn't been fighting good wrestlers lately. I mean, Fabricio Verdum, not the greatest wrestler in the world, but, still pretty close to his prime. Verdum tried to take Tybura down a whole hell of a lot and couldn't. Different style of takedowns, different physical type of fighter, but Tybura's shown some good grappling defense in the past. And even if he does get taken down, I think that Romanov's not this overwhelming force on the ground. I mean, sure, it looks like that when he's fighting Chase Sherman or Jared Vandera or fucking Roque Martinez, pioneer of the T-shirt in the pool division. But, when he fights an actual guy who knows how to grapple or has heard of grappling, he struggles a bit. I mean, before he got choked unconscious by a forearm choke, De Lima was able to get up off his back against Romanov a couple times, and that's maybe the biggest quitter we've ever known in the light heavyweight or heavyweight division. So I think that Tybura is going to be able to get through the early stuff. And how long can Romanov do that when somebody's actually doing stuff back to him? And that guy doing stuff back to him is a better striker. He knows what he's doing in the clinch. He knows what he's doing on the ground. I don't want to say I really like Tybura in this spot, but I like Tybura in this spot. I played him. I played him by decision. I haven't looked at I thought I glanced at the round props, and round through is like plus 3,300. That's That's tempting. That's always going to be tempting to an idiot like me. I think it's more likely that it's a decision, and Romanov is able to hold on to the final bell because Tybura is not a huge finisher. But he'll be the bet and the pick here. Main card, you guys are not going to want to miss the 2 fights to kick off this main card. We started off in the light heavyweight division. Tyson Pedro, all right. You know, he's, I guess, kind of prospect. Do you call a guy that was out for like 6 years straight and then won a fight over a bad fight or a prospect? Maybe. I don't know. If he's Australian, maybe it's because it's different hemisphere. They do things differently down there. Who knows? He's taking on Harry Hunsucker. That's right, folks.
Ooh,
Harry
pay-per-view.
Hunsucker is on a pay-per-view main card. I hope he's getting pay-per-view points. That's all I gotta say. This man is bringing the people in, Sean.
I'm not wasting everyone's time for this breakdown.
Like I just
Hunsucker
did.
0 for 3 with 3 first-round knockouts. And now he's dropping to light heavyweight.
He's going to be able to handle the power now, man. He's going to be able to handle the power.
This has got to be up there with one of the worst fighters to ever be on a pay-per-view in the modern era.
I would say
If
Well,
0-3 with first-round
one up.
finishes.
I mean, we get chick fights on pay-per-views where they've lost 5 of 6.
0-3 finished in the first round every
That-
time.
Definitely one of. I'll give you that. He's definitely one of.
I'll need to do some research on that. I feel like I want a list of the top 5 worst fighters to appear on a pay-per-view.
I'm sure there's like worst fighters, but just looking at that record and how he's been finished, I don't think there's anybody that can compete with 0-3 with 3 first round defeats.
Don't disagree with you. I would have to dive into the vault to figure it out.
Brutal.
Wes?
Yeah. Pedro first round KO.
Him first round is like minus 200, minus 210.
KO sitting out there like minus 125 or something like that. I think if you want to put like,
Oh, he's getting a sub now? Is that what's going to happen here?
Now you're talking.
Oh,
Now
geez.
you're talking.
Oh, jeez.
So
Brad's
I
entered
know-
the building.
I know that Harry Hunsucker has only been knocked out. He's got 5 losses. They're all by first round TKO. Tyson Pedro might do that. I mean, it's a good possibility that he'll just take him down and smash him with some elbows. But think about this new, lighter, lively Harry Hunsucker. This man's going to be working. He's going to be going for it. And Tyson Pedro is just going to pull the old bow nickel, and he's going to say, you know what? I'm not going to mess around. My manager got me this sweet fight. I'm just going to take my sub because 5 of his 8 wins in his career by sub, and I'm going to make off with a round 1 sub ticket plus 850. Boom. Who's your daddy?
Love it. That's how you get value in a minus 900 favorite.
Right? If that's not value, I don't know what value is. I might not know what value is, by the way. We'll find out. Women's bantamweight division. If you thought that was good for a pay-per-view, folks, now we've got Yanan taking on. I'm glad they brought her back because Poods has had a renaissance over in KSW. He's knocking fools out. He's got fists of fury now. So you got to bring back the Poods lover. Everyone loves a Poods lover. Do we love it on a pay-per-view main card, Sean?
And they give you this one though, like as soon as you're settled in after that first fight, that's probably going to be madness. Oh, you're settled in, got your beers cracked. Here's the Poods lover. Yeah, it's definitely dog walk time.
These
We're
ladies
not breaking this fight down,
No.
are we?
No,
Okay.
these ladies combined 2-8 in the UFC. I know Puds went on a walk and destroyed some moms and teachers and whoever the fuck she was fighting at Octagon, whatever. I don't care.
Good. Wes?
I mean, if the old Hunsucker hadn't been knocked out in 3 straight, the old Woo has lost 4 or 5 in 3 straight, and she's sitting on a pay-per-view. Like, that is not a light heavyweight dude that's gonna throw bangers. Like, we're getting.
They always have to have ladies on the pay-per-view. It's called equality, Wes.
No, that's the TV partners. Pretty much that shit came out. They want, for some reason, they want chick fights on.
Well, the ladies always bring it, so it makes sense.
They think that that's an untapped market, and trust me, like, chicks ain't tuning in to other chicks beating the shit out of each other. You're not gonna get them.
$74.99.
Yeah, if they ain't signed up yet, they ain't signing up, motherfucker. Like, chicks ain't doing it. This fight's terrible. Just, this is laughable. This is on a fucking $75 pay-per-view.
The list of UFC wins between these two is Ji-Yeon Kim, sure, whoever that is, Sarah Moorass, and Lauren Mueller, she wrote. What are we doing here? This is embarrassing. I'm sorry. I know they try hard, but like this is ridiculous that this is on a pay-per-view. If somebody has a plus number beside their name, I will pick that person in Toutmaster. If nobody has a plus number in front of their name, I'm actually going to abstain from picking this fight in Toutmaster because I have principles. Right?
Principle.
That's
Man of principles.
More important to me than winning Toutmaster, which I would definitely do if I didn't skip picking the fight.
or a whole card that
Yeah.
you skipped out of principle too, right?
Probably. I was at the cottage. I was drunk. Who knows? Whatever. Things happen. All right. I tried my best.
You made it a while this year. I'll give you that.
Yeah. I kept posting after I missed. So Good for me. I've got heart. Moxie. Men's bantamweight division. Now, like, these last 3 are fucking awesome. This is, if you took these 3 and the last 2 prelims, and I understand they want to put good prelims on to get people to buy the pay-per-view, but if you put those 5 fights on a pay-per-view main card, it's a good main card. I would be all about that. But anyway, Jose Aldo taking on the Georgian snooze machine, and Sean, is it finally time that somebody hits the snooze button for good?
I kind of hope so. We finally saw a little bit of a chink in the armor last time out. Aldo's UFC 2022, baby. Aldo's takedown defense, I don't think, is the absolute best at bantamweight that it, like, compared to how it was at feather. No. And I don't know if that's just a weight thing or if that's just an age thing. At featherweight, it was unstoppable.
Crazy good wrestlers down at 135 right now.
There are very good wrestlers, but Rob Font got him down for 50 seconds in the first round of that fight. The snooze machine is going to take him down. Hopefully, Aldo's able to piece him up a bit before that happens. Hopefully, he'll be able to get up while he's fresh. Because when this is on this feed, it's a pretty big mismatch. As big of edge that the snooze machine has on the ground against a lot of bantamweights, Aldo has an advantage on the feet against him. It's interesting because this is a 3-round fight where it's tough because, like, I think Aldo might get taken down early. And like, I think the worry for some people is Aldo going to be gassed and have to hold on in the third? It's possible. Maybe Aldo, has a good first 2 rounds and then he has to hold on. I think it also could be he gets taken down. Not too much happens. He closes his guard and is able to kind of weather the storm in the first round. And then maybe the snooze machine doesn't have as much success in the second and third. So I don't know exactly which way that's going to go. I do know that Aldo is going to be a hell of a test to this guy. And he throws some leg kicks there. He basically needs to watch that Moraes fight over and over again. There's a lot of things that he can take from that fight. I like Aldo here. Until I'm proven wrong, you gotta. This is a very, very big litmus test. So I like Aldo. I got 2 units on him at plus 103.
Wes?
Yeah, man. 135 Aldo has actually been like pretty spectacular.
It's been wild.
Yep.
It's not, nobody could have saw this coming. Like seriously,
I was terrified.
Yeah.
When he said
I was worried about him.
Yep.
I was
just
worried
gonna
about
ruin his legacy by just either missing weight cuts or just being so drawn out. He's just gonna get run over and chin's gone and all that stuff. But the man has done it.
And then, not to mention, his past 3 fights after a fight, like he had at 135 against Yanan. Like that's even just as impressive to keep going in this division against some really good dudes. I mean, we just talked about Marlon Vera, and now these past 3 dudes aren't, they let Aldo pretty much have the perfect fight set up and sit there and do what he does. And just pick them apart and look outstanding. This is going to be different than that. I'm not sure that I still think he's got pretty good takedown defense here. I think he's probably going to get taken down, but I think he can make it rough. Aldo's got that good, like that balance that you get his leg, he can get around on 1 foot, and he's throwing stuff at you and throwing some stuff with some damage when you're trying to get him down in those spots. I think he can do that here. Now, when it gets into the second and third round, we'll see who that wrestling and trying to get the takedowns is wearing on more. I definitely like Aldo more in a 3-round fight than you do a 5. That's always been the case, I think, pretty much 45 or 35. On the feet, this is just not close. I think Sean's right. There's some things that Aldo can take from the Moraes fight. Do we get that snooze machine, though? Do we get the non-snooze machine in this fight against Aldo? Does he come out there and try to throw down a little bit with the legend? God, I'm praying so. If we get that, if we get a little bit of that from that Moraes fight, I love Aldo here as a dog. I think he's going to get something. But at that kind of price, man, the way Aldo's looked, prove me wrong, man. I'm with Sean here. You're going to have to prove me wrong at plus 120. I think it's up. It's creeping.
Yeah,
you got to like the legend here, the way he's looked, his past 3 fights. Not the best matchup at all. Merab's good, man. That dude's really good. He's good at what he does. But if there's one guy that I think could make them takedowns tough and piece the shit up out of him on the feet, it's Aldo. I'll take some dog money here.
Yeah, I know we all want to talk about how this is a tough matchup for Aldo, but that's because, well, that's a tough matchup. Ooh. Whatever you did, undo it. Okay, you're good. Merab's a tough matchup for anybody in the bantamweight division, really. I think that of all of his matchups in the division, Aldo might be one of the worst ones for him. Like outside of Jan, I think that Aldo's probably the one guy who can slow down the pace of a fight, who can defend his takedowns, who's obviously miles better than him on the feet. I mean, Merab is bad on the feet. He needs to get this fight to the ground. Obviously, Aldo needs to keep it on the feet but it's a different kind of need. One is like, if I don't get this fight to the ground, I'm probably going to die. And the other one is, if I get taken down, then this guy's probably going to lay on me. Because I don't think that Merab's going to overwhelm Aldo with ground and pound or anything like that. I like Aldo quite a bit here. I think, as we've all made clear, the skill gap on the feet is huge. There are openings that Merab leaves when he's rushing in to try and close the distance because he's desperate to do so. Honestly, if Merab feels confident enough on the feet to exchange at any point in this fight, that's not going to go well for him. So I think Aldo's going to do all right here. I think that there's a possibility that he will take the snooze machine out early. If he hurts Merab, he's not going to be Marlon Moraes and just go wild trying to get after him. He's going to pick his shots. He's going to work to the body. And I think that can sap some of Merab's gas tank as well. So I like Aldo. I too got a bad number. I didn't think that the plus money was going to hang around here, and now it's growing. So I got 2 units of plus 110. And Jose Aldo is going to be the consensus bet of the week.
Plus 120.
Plus one. We get to give out a better number than we all got. That's wonderful. Yep. I love it. Co-main events. We've got the return, the greatest middleweight of all time, and a little drunk. And it's this one's interesting. I think this is a more interesting fight than people are giving it credit for. We'll see how you guys feel about it. I will be back in 1 second.
We were so far ahead with that nickname of Lil Drunk on Paulo Costa. Yeah. Comes out with the wine excuse after just gets dusted by Izzy. This is a weird fight. Rockhold, obviously, highly skilled fighter, fights way too arrogantly, has a chin that has been tagged way too many times. And then you have Costa, who fight week just decides that I'm not going to make 185. And then it seemed like it was almost a struggle to make 205. And then he's like, sure, he did throw hands against Vettori. But would you say, Wes, that was, his best way to beat Vettori, the way he fought? Like, yes, he was throwing. I mean, we were concerned that he wasn't going to throw anymore. He did throw, but like it didn't seem like there was much thought into what he was doing. It didn't seem like he was trying to win. He was just trying to throw and hopefully something landed. Like, I don't know. It's weird. Does it matter? Probably not. Like, the likeliest scenario is Costa's going to catch that chin. He has huge power. He's very fast. I'm suckered in by Luke Rockhold and a big number. I don't know what it is. Like, Costa.
So you think that Luke's gonna wrestle, though?
Yeah.
He's got to.
I'm hoping he's gonna wrestle.
Hoping Luke
has to wrestle.
Hoping Luke Rockhold is gonna wrestle somebody.
I'm hoping this time off has made him gain a couple brain cells back that Bisping and Blachowicz and all those other guys knocked out of him, and he grapples this guy because, like, it seems like Costa has fairly good takedown defense. But he also hasn't fought a real wrestler. Like, Vettori is a grinder. He's a grappler. He's not a real wrestler. I'm interested to see if Rockhold does actually try to wrestle, what that takedown defense looks like, what that gas tank looks like if he does get him down. Rockhold on top is a fucking terrifying person. I don't know if it gets there. Likelihood of it getting there is not there. Bet365 decided to boost up. They were just asking for my money. I've been taking a little bit too much of theirs. They decided to boost Luke Rockhold inside the distance to plus 650. I threw a half a unit on that.
Ooh. Wes?
Now, you mean to tell me that Little Trump didn't wrestle one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, or fight one of the greatest wrestlers of all time? The fucking meat man himself, the fucking full slab of barbecue ribs man, fucking Johnny Hendricks. Come on, man.
What a sad ending to that career of Hendricks.
Imagine like no drug testing. Johnny Hendricks like reigning champ. Like, how long does Johnny Hendricks reign as champ?
We'd also need to cut out weight cutting as well if we're going down that road.
Imagine if they scored the Lawler-Hendricks fights properly, where Lawler won the first one and then Hendricks won the second one.
Yeah.
That's how they should have gone.
Weird times.
Yeah, I will say that for that Vettori fight, Paulo Costa gave no fucks. Before the fight, during the fight, like you hit on all of it.
After the fight.
He was just going through the motions in that fight. He didn't give a shit. Like, there was no setup to nothing. He didn't care. It looks like he's at least caring about this fight, because that dude looks insane. He looks like old little drunk before all the fucking wine bottles coming into this fight.
Well, yeah, USADA hasn't been showing up, so let's go,
dude. He looks ridiculous. He's not missing weight this time. I'll tell you that. He looks insane, dude.
He looks a little like a different though, because before he used to be like fucking hulked out and massive.
He does look
still
lean.
Somehow made 185. He looks a lot leaner this time.
He looks
probably
lean.
Smart.
He still looks fucking ripped
Shredded.
though. Like,
Yeah.
Look, I think Paulo Costa's takedown defense is decent. Maybe not even takedown defense, but he keeps range in fights. That's his problem sometimes, is he's not in there doing shit. He keeps range fairly well. So you're banking on Rockhold getting inside and dodging some shit to get a hold of this dude, probably. And you got to hope he's going to do that. Like, I think Sean hit it right. Like, Rockhold's an arrogant fighter. He literally wants to stand on the feet and throw those fucking question mark kicks and all that pretty shit and try to knock dudes out. I mean, hopefully the CTE isn't setting in. I mean, because he's been fucked. It's good to take a few years off, that's for sure. But I mean, 3 years off. Like any other scenario, like, usually picking against guys coming off 3-year layoffs.
Yep.
Against a guy like this that throws fucking hammers. Little Drunk is catching Rockhold, man. He's knocking Rockhold out. I get that line. It's a great price on a dude that, if he does everything right, he's got a chance. He definitely does. Man, you gotta hope he wrestles. You gotta hope he gets inside. Yeah. You got to hope he gets inside and gets a hold of Costa without fucking catching something to that chin too. I just don't see it, man. Costa looks really fucking good to me coming to this fight. He looks like he's taking it seriously. Rockhold, as always, looks like a fucking $1 million. The man might be the hottest dude to ever strap on some gloves. So I like Costa here though, man. I think he catches him. I get trying to take the shot. I really do, but I like Costa. KO.
He did get rid of his manager, and now his girlfriend is managing him for Costa. Not the greatest sign either.
I thought you were going to say for Rockhold. That sounds like a Rockhold move.
That sounds like a Rockhold move, but
that's
Costa.
I don't know. It sounds like something that might help Costa. He needs somebody to take control of his ass, because he's off the leash. That dude was gone. He was off the leash doing some wild shit, man.
Wes, what did you say? Costa and a strap on.
Oh, love it.
Oh man, Good times.
How are we not sponsored already? I like
Right?
somebody giving us money for this
just-
shit.
There's so many opportunities. People have given us money for this shit. That's the scary part.
Yeah.
True.
I'm torn on this one because, like, Luke Rockhold is excellent. Or Luke Rockhold was excellent. Luke Rockhold was probably the best middleweight ever. The version of
Skill-wise.
him that fought Weidman, the version of him like coming over from Strikeforce, that guy was
Insane.
incredible.
Yeah.
Bisbing won
Yeah.
the first one. Fuck.
Yeah,
Yep.
the first. Yeah.
You can't even like mention the first one without thinking about the second one.
I
Yeah.
know.
It's
I
just-
know.
That's
It-
when it
it
was
hits
all
you like a
going
left hook.
downhill with that fucking chin, man. And that was years ago. How long ago was that? It was so fucked up, man.
2016 was when the Bisbing knockout was.
Wild.
Yeah.
I think that there's a decent chance that Rockhold wrestles here. I know that West thinks that he never wrestles, and I think Dixon in the chat says he doesn't have good wrestling. I disagree. I think he does wrestle, and he does have good wrestling. He tried to take down Jan a bunch of times. He couldn't because Jan is a massive 205er who has some pretty decent grappling, except when he's facing Glover, of course. You get trapped under the garage door and you're fucked.
Ask Weidman if Rockhold can grapple and wrestle.
I don't think anyone
I-
disagrees that Rockhold can
Rocco
grapple.
he can wrestle. Like,
Once he gets a hawk hold of you, you're done.
yeah.
All right. But like he took down Dave Branch a bunch of times and went for takedowns there. The only guys that he hasn't taken down are Bisping because he already beat the shit out of him on the feet once. Why would he think that he couldn't do it second time? And YOLO, because why are you going to try and wrestle YOLO? Everybody else he's gone for takedowns against, and besides Jan, he's gotten them against. So I wouldn't be shocked if that happens here. Even if that does happen, though, there's in the Costa YOLO fight, I think it was the third round. There's that one time where YOLO goes for a takedown and looks like he's gonna get it, and Costa in round 3 of that fight just has like an insane scramble to get back up to his feet.
Yep.
Like Costa can grapple too, and I think he can grapple enough to either get Rockhold to stop trying to take him down, or just stop the takedowns anyway, and then he's eventually gonna land something on the feet. That said, that Rockhold inside at plus 650, if he gets on top here, that's going to be rough, tough sledding for Costa.
Even at this stage, if he ends up on his back with Rockhold on top of him, it's over. Like,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where the chin's at, how long that dude's been off. Maybe some of the most vicious top game that we've ever seen at 185.
Yes, yeah, he. It's honestly amazing that Machida still fights after the beat that Rockhold put on him, and Weidman tries to fight because Rockhold broke that man
Broke him.
with assistance from Herb Dean. Anyway, the pick here for me is going to be Costa inside, but man, Sean, I think I might throw a couple bucks. I'm going to be a fraud and throw a couple bucks on that line, and maybe just so I'm not a complete fraud, I'll throw a Rockhold pick in Toutmaster as well.
There we go.
Main event time. Kamaru Usman defending the welterweight title against who? Who?
And Lance
Do-
isn't
do we
here for
know?
this. Lance
Do
is
we-
not here for this.
Do we know who this guy is? Is this like a late replacement? They brought him in. They couldn't find anybody to fight. Somebody dropped off. I don't know. Was Jorge Masvidal
Sean-
not available
Sean's
again?
got the best
Like,
one.
wasn't-
just play the Ngannou clip.
Yeah.
Huh?
Shot.
Ooh,
Who?
no.
No.
Oh, the best.
Yeah,
The best.
I get a weird. I don't know why. I just have a weird feeling about this fight. Like Usman, like he's got way better since the first fight. Edwards probably has too. I think if Usman's smart, he's just gonna grapple him, and obviously it's probably gonna be a bit of a struggle at the start, and then it'll slowly get easier and easier, like it did in the first fight. If Usman, who has fallen in love with his hands, this probably becomes a closer fight. Usman obviously has way more power, so maybe he just says fuck it and is trying to be exciting all of a sudden. I don't know. I just have a weird feeling. I'm staying away from Usman. He's a guy that I pretty much bet every time, even at some big numbers. But here I'm just kind of staying away. I do like the over 2.5. It's juiced. You only can get it at some certain books because obviously I think the total is 4.5 at most books. But Dimes, of course, puts out the alternate lines, and I think it was like minus 270, 280 or something like that. So I put that in a parlay with the over 1.5 in the fatties, the Romanov Tybura fight at plus 123, and then I put that with Fletcher plus 131. I just like, unless Usman lands the fucking bomb, I think this sail's over and we're going to a decision, maybe a late finish by Usman. I really expect him to grapple, and that pretty much almost seals the over 2.5 right there. So I'll pick Usman. I'm scared of backing him for some reason. I get a weird feeling, but I think he's going to be a smart and grapple and win a pretty wide decision.
Wesley, who's going to win?
No, he's not.
Yeah, no, he ain't. Yeah, I don't really want to overthink it too much. I just think Usman's the way better dude here. I mean, everywhere. I don't. Probably should grapple. He's definitely got a way easier path that way. But I mean, I don't necessarily think this fight is like very sketchy. If he throws like Leon Edwards, it's not going to out volume him even like fucking Kobe could. I mean, we forget that Nate Diaz fucking had this dude hurt bad late in that fight. Still, that's not a good look. Usman hits 10 times harder than, even if the technique is, like our boy Bo would say, probably the worst fucking striker he's ever seen in MMA. That power is just way more than Nate's. I mean, yeah, we haven't seen Leon hurt much in his career, so that was probably definitely some kind of flash stuff, but just saw it recently. Yeah, I just think Usman's the way better guy here. If he does grapple, it's an easy path for him. Props for Leon to finally groveling his way to this fucking title shot. I mean, he's probably been there
to get here.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in the same spot for the past like 3 years. It just nobody still doesn't give a fuck. Like, who's up for this fight, you know? But yeah, I guess Usman here. I got him in a parlay with the fatties over. At some slight plus money. I think I'm gonna throw a little shot on Usman inside. It's a little over plus 200 at this point. I think it's later. I don't know if it goes 5. I do think Usman could get a late finish in around plus 200. Probably take a little sprinkle on that. I think the 2.5 is good though. It's probably gonna go a few rounds. Usman always kind of slow starter. Hell, he might even lose the first round. He started slow against Kobe, I think both times. So, yeah, Usman here. Not much. Don't want to overthink it.
I'm gonna take a little shot on Edwards. I gotta take the shot.
How's he do it, Brad?
Y'all got feeling. It's feelings though. It's feelings, right? Well, Sean's is. He's got a feeling.
Sean's got a feeling. I think that Edwards has turned into a pretty decent clinch wrestler. So if he can defend the initial shot, I think he's going to be okay. Or if he does get taken down, because he has been taken down by lesser wrestlers than Usman, and obviously by Usman as well. That was forever ago. I know people want to, like, I had the countdown on before Contender Series last night, and they were talking about how, we got to watch this fight because this shows the tendencies from 12 years ago or however long it was. I think it's like 7 years ago, 8 years ago, something like that. I think that Edwards has improved more in that time. I know that people want to pretend that Usman has good striking now. He doesn't. It's hideous. He's got a little bit of power and he can kind of throw a jab, but I think that Leon Edwards can kind of deal with a jab. So he's going to be fine on the feet. He isn't this huge volume guy, but I think he's going to land the cleaner stuff. Usman's not going to just like rush forward and throw a million strikes. He's not that kind of fighter. I think that a lot of this is going to happen at range, and Edwards is going to have enough success that when he defends takedowns or gets controlled for little periods of rounds, that it's still going to go in his favor, especially with the new criteria.
Ooh.
The damage criteria, because every little jab is worth more than 30 seconds of Usman trying to get a takedown. So I got Edwards to take a decision here. I think it's going to be competitive. I wouldn't be shocked if Usman can get enough takedowns and control him enough that he wins it. But I don't think Usman's going to come out here and just run through this guy. I think this was a relatively tough fight for him the first time around, and Edwards has made more of the necessary improvements to have success this time around. So, who's going to be the champ?
Imagine. Fucking imagine, bro.
Because that would be the most MMA thing to happen.
Yeah.
It would.
Like, it's a good pay-per-view card at the end with kind of also a shitty main event because nobody cares about either of these guys, but I still kind of want to watch it. And there's some boxing this weekend. Wes, any thoughts on the boxing?
I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was last week, and then I was disappointed that we got Teofimo last week, and it's all right.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm intrigued by this fight though, because I think AJ made some slight changes, but I mean Usyk's the better boxer here. It's probably going to be the same thing. Probably Usyk winning the decision, but who knows, man? AJ still got some power. We'll see.
It's going to be more of a scrap this time for sure.
He's got to make it that. Like he's got to get in, and which has never been his style. Which and then even after a couple back, he got hurt and shit. So he never really wanted to get in brawls like that, but. We'll see. It's a great fight, man. There's just nothing like big heavyweight fights. This is one of them, man. Usyk coming from what he's done, dude. Pretty incredible story.
What else we got going on this week? There's a shitty PFL card.
It's bad, ain't it? Like really
Kayla
bad.
fighting some lunch lady.
Minus 5,000 again.
There's a KSW, but it doesn't have Poods. That's unfortunate. I'm sure there's probably some fun fights on there. Not a lot. There's enough going on this weekend with the UFC and boxing that I think that's good.
No UFC card next week, too.
Ooh, really?
A rare week off.
I scrolled down. Yeah, September 3rd. I'll probably end up missing that card because that's Labor Day weekend. I'll probably be up at the cottage. I might watch it on my phone or the iPad. But
are you gone by then, Sean? Is that when?
So I will be there to preview it, but Saturday is when I leave to go to Toronto first for a couple days, and then off to Europe.
Ooh,
that's awesome.
Any particular plan in Europe?
London, Amsterdam. Prague,
Shocking.
Budapest, and Slovenia.
Prague's supposed to be fucking nice, man. Had a couple friends been by there, Amsterdam too, and done Prague, and Croc's supposed to be like party, like insane.
Yeah, so
Sean's gonna end up on some websites by the time he gets back.
no
to Canada.
doubt.
should be good.
Well,
Yep.
we look forward to that for you. I'm glad I'll probably be around to break down that card too.
Yeah.
But we'll be off next week. If this card is good, we'll probably recap it when we get back. But we hope you guys enjoy. You win your bets. Mostly, I hope I win my bets, and you guys as well. But we'll see. We'll keep the train rolling. It's been a good 2022 for us so far. Peace.